Hello and welcome to IP Lesson. My name is Muhammad Abu Hagaza. I have over 6 years of experience. I am certified with 13 certificates. Most of those certificates is Cisco certificates. I have the CCNA. Besides Cisco certificates, I have a Palo Alto certificate, PCN SE, and Linux Essentials. Please feel free to contact me on my LinkedIn or my Gmail. This is an overview about CCNA exam, the current exam 300-201. CCNA stands for Cisco Certified Network Associate. The CCNA exam provided by a company called PersonView, so you can schedule this exam with PersonView. You can take the CCNA in person or remote. So you can schedule CCNA exam to take it from your home. The exam duration is 2 hours. Cisco certificates is valid for 3 years. The passing score for CCNA is 82.5%. The exam costs $300 plus tax. CCNA exam or any Cisco certificates can be renewed with multiple ways. The most common one is taking another Cisco exams. So you can take CCNP and it will renew the CCNA, or you can take another CCNA exam, for example CCNA DevNet, and it will renew all your current certificates. For the exam, there is multiple questions style in that exam. There is multiple choice questions with a single answer and multiple answers. There is drag and drop. There is fill in the blank, and there is a simulation. Simulation will give you a small lab and it will ask you to do a specific thing in that lab. I personally believe that Cisco gives the best certificate system. So first, Cisco certificates is valid for 3 years. Unlike other vendors, there is some other vendors that provide certificates and those certificates will be valid only for 2 years. Besides that, any certificate you take it with Cisco, it will renew all your certificates. So if I have a CCNP certificate and I decided to study for CCNA DevNet and I took the exam and I passed it, this certificate will renew all my other Cisco certificates. So there is some other vendors that doesn't allow that. In order to renew the professional level certificates, you have to take another professional level of certificate. Also, Cisco provides a lot of certificates. So Cisco provides certificates for collaboration, cyber ops, data center, DevNet, security, service providers. Cisco provide a lot of certificates in multiple networking field. Cisco certificates is very acquired. For CCNA, there is no formal prerequisite, but Cisco recommend to have at least 1 year of experience with working with Cisco systems. For our course, we will follow the official Cisco book. So we will start with CCNA Volume 1, and after we complete CCNA Volume 1, we will move to CCNA Volume 2. For Cisco certificates in general, we have associate level, professional level, expert level. There is also entry level. CCNA considered associate level. After we take the CCNA, we have the option to choose from the CCNP certificates. So the next level of CCNA is the CCNP Enterprise. There is also the expert level, which is CCIE. So CCNP stands for Cisco Certified Network Professional. CCIE stand for Cisco Certified Internetwork Expert. So if we decided to move to CCNP Enterprise, it would be much easier than taking another professional level, because CCNP Enterprise focusing in the same topics that we learned from CCNA. Same thing with CCIE Enterprise Wireless and CCIE Enterprise Infrastructure. For the professional level of certificates, we can take those certificates also in person or remote. But for CCIE, we cannot take the CCIE remotely. If we are planning to take CCIE, first we need to take the in-course exam. For CCNP certificates, we have 7 CCNP certificates. But if we are planning to take the CCIE, we have to take the NCORE exam. So the NCORE exam is prerequisite for CCIE lab exam. To pass the CCIE, we have to take 2 exams, the NCORE and the lab exam. CCNA gives an introduction to the topics that we will learn in CCNP. So why do we need CCNA? What we will learn and what we will do with the CCNA certificates? To answer this question, let's take a look at our example here. In our example, Company X decided to build a new branch. This branch will have 2,000 employees inside it. So Company X want to build a network in order to give internet access between employees, and it want to allow those employees to share some resources through the network. In that case, is Company X will request a 2,000 internet cable to provide the connectivity to those users. What about the security? So Company X could be a bank or financial company, and all the data will go through this network should be secured. For Company X to provide network connectivity in the new branch, it will need to build something called LAN, Local Area Network. So Company X will request a high-speed internet connection from the ISP, from the internet service provider. It could be more than one connection, and then Company X will need a network engineers to build the LAN, the Local Area Network. So as a network engineer, we will take that connection from the ISP and start to build an internal network inside our branch. This network will require a network engineer to build that network, to maintain that network, to monitor that network, to support this network, and after a period of time, when the new technologies comes out and our equipment will become old equipment, Company X will require a network engineer to replace those equipments. So as a network engineers, we will do all of that. Not only this, we will also need to build and secure a network connectivity between branches. During our course, when we learn about how to configure how to build a network, we will use those symbols to refer to the network equipment and the other devices. For example, we have end devices, which is a desktop, printer, cell phone, laptop, server, and IP phone. We have our network devices, which is router, switch, hub, layer 3 switch, and the firewall. There is some other symbols that we will use during our course. We have the cloud, Ethernet, serial link, and the tunnel. For wireless technologies, we will use those symbols. So we have the access point, we have the radio frequency, we have repeater, work group bridge, wireless LAN controller. So what does the cloud symbol mean? So the cloud in the networking designs is abstraction for the complex network infrastructure. So if I want to describe that my computer or my desktop is somehow connected to Google, so the internet is connecting me to google.com, instead of trying to draw a complex internet network, I can simply use the cloud symbol. So I can use my desktop, then Google server, and put in the middle internet cloud. So the cloud represent here the internet network. We have also something called network topology. So network topology refer to the physical or logical layout of a network. So if I would like to describe my network, I can simply draw a network topology. This network topology will refer to the logical layout of my network. So during our course, instead of using images for our switches to draw network topologies, we will simply use our symbols. And our symbols will represent our network topology. So what is end device refer to? End device refer to a device that either can be a source or a destination for the message. As shown in our topology here, we have the desktops and we have the printers. They are end devices. We have also something called intermediary device. The intermediary device is a device connect end devices to other network component. So what we mean by end device and intermediary devices? In our topology here, our end devices is connected to one of the intermediary devices. So our end devices can be a source or a destination for a message. What we mean by that? We mean that our end devices cannot receive a message sourced from a different device and forward it to another device. So desktop A can send a message to desktop B. Same thing with desktop B, desktop C. But those devices cannot receive a message from a different device and forward it. So our intermediary devices meant to do that, meant to receive a message. So for example, switch 1 is W1 can receive a message sourced from desktop A and forward it to desktop B. So our switch will receive a message and keep forwarding the traffic until it reaches the destination. So let's ask a question here. Can I replace switch 1 with a desktop C? And the answer is no. The reason of that, because desktop C cannot receive a message sourced from a different device, sourced from desktop A and forward it to another device, which is desktop B. It can only send a message sourced from itself only. So what is server? Server is a dedicated device that provides a specific service to multiple other devices. Example for the servers or the most common servers is web server. For example, google.com. Google.com is a web server. So google.com provide a service to the users. So when we open our laptop, our desktop, and send a request to open google.com, google.com web server will receive that request and the response back. So any device will send a request to the server will called a client. So google.com server providing a service which is web browsing to the clients. So let's ask a question here. Can we download this service in our desktop? Can we download the web browsing or web server in our desktop? And the answer is yes, we can download the web server to our desktop. But here is the problem. Our regular desktop cannot handle this overload. So our desktop meant for personal use, not to handle services. Also, we will need to put our server in the data center. For that reason, we will need a device that can be racked and mounted to the cabinet. Our service needs to be available 24/7. For that reason, our servers looks different than our regular desktop, and our server is very powerful devices. Example of the servers, we have Dell PowerEdge M1000E. This device take 8 blades. For each single blade, it could have 32 core. For processor, it could have 768 GB memory, and it supports up to 14 TB for hard drive per blade. Also, because the server needs to be up and running 24/7 and there should be no outage, the server could have more than 2 power supply. So it can be connected to 2 different power resources in order to be up and running. If one of those power resources is down, it will still have a power from the second resource. This is the end for this video. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.